Today on Rappler, the Commission on Elections disqualifies party list group Ako Bicol and 12 others from the 2013 polls. Malacanang says the Supreme Court's TRO on the cybercrime law sends a signal to lawmakers. And the Senate panel proposes a lower revenue target for the sin tax bill. Hello, I'm Maria Ressa. Welcome to Rappler, your social news network. The Commission on Elections disqualifies party list group Ako Bicol and at least 12 others from participating in the 2013 polls. Ako Bicol got the most number of votes for a party list in the last elections. COMELEC Chair Sixto Brillantes Jr. says the group should be a registered political party, not representing a marginalized group. In an interview with ANC party list representative Alfredo Garbin Jr. says it was a big surprise and it is unacceptable on our part. Ako Bicol has 3 party list representatives in Congress. In 2010, the group also faced a disqualification case for allegedly violating the party list law. The prominent Co family in Albay formed and backs Ako Bicol. Paul Watchdog Contradaya also says former President Gloria Arroyo had a hand in its creation, which the party list group denies. Malacanang says the Supreme Court order stopping the cybercrime law for 120 days sends a signal to lawmakers to amend it. Several have already filed bills to amend the law. Presidential spokesperson Edwin Lacerda says the High Court may have sent a message by issuing the 120-day temporary restraining order on Tuesday. He says it's rare for the court to issue a TRO with a definite time period, but some lawmakers say they prefer to wait for the Supreme Court's final decision on the matter. Senate President Juan Ponce Enrile says, "I suggest that we wait for the Supreme Court to make a decision so that we will know the defects they want us to correct." Senator Chofisto Gingona III files the Crowdsourcing Act of 2012 at the Senate on Tuesday. The bill aims to expand the avenues of participation to the online community by allowing people to participate in the lawmaking process. With the bill now filed at the Senate, Gingona calls on citizens to help improve the bill through crowdsourcing. In a post on his official Facebook page, Gingona asks Filipinos to give comments and suggestions through email and social media. This isn't the first time that a law has been crafted through crowdsourcing. Reykjavik in Iceland did the exact same thing about its constitution. A day after the student paper of the University of Santo Tomas criticized pro-reproductive health bill professors from Ateneo and La Salle, publications from the 2 universities criticized the UST paper. Ateneo's The Guidon lambasts UST's The Varsitarian for shortchanging its readers. The Guidon says the paper owes it to the audience to treat them as thinking adults who can distinguish well-reasoned arguments from drivel. The La Salle University student paper also hits back at the Varsitarian for the editorial. The La Sallian says the UST student paper editorial, quote, veered away from the real issue. It adds, the La Sallian advocates constructive discourse that can only be attained through issue-oriented critical thinking. In a statement, UST distances itself from the paper's criticism of the pro-RH professors. The Manila Electric Company, or Meralco, is billing more than 1.2 million customers for their unpaid bill deposit. Meralco Corporate Communications Manager Joe Zaldarriaga says the bill deposit payables or refunds in the case of others will be reflected in customers' electricity bills starting October. A bill deposit is equivalent to 1 month's billing and is payable every year. Zaldarriaga says this is the first time Meralco will update its customers' bill deposits. The Energy Regulatory Commission allows distribution utilities to require bill deposits from their customers as security. The Senate Committee on Ways and Means is endorsing a revenue target of 15 to 20 billion pesos from proposed increases in sin taxes. This amount is only about half of the target set under House Bill 5727, which the House passed in June and aimed to raise 31 billion pesos in revenues. The committee's report dilutes mainly the tax system for cigarettes under the approved bill. Committee Chair Senator Ralph Recto says previous revenue targets for proposed sin tax increases were, quote, unrealistic. The measure increases the prices of tobacco and alcohol to discourage the poor and young from consuming the products. Civil society groups slammed the, quote, watered-down version of the bill, saying it might no longer achieve its targeted impact. Leaders and fighters of the Moro Islamic Liberation Front are still not allowed to vote in the May 2013 elections, despite its framework agreement with the Aquino government. MILF Vice Chairman for Political Affairs Ghazali Jafar says the MILF plans to establish its own political party that will join local elections in the planned Bangsamoro region. While the Bangsamoro is not yet in place, Jafar says only civilian members and supporters of the MILF are allowed to vote in the 2013 polls. The United Nations Food Agency says 1 in 8 people worldwide still suffer from chronic hunger, describing the figure as, quote, unacceptable, and warning the fight against hunger is slowing down. In its 2012 report, the Food and Agriculture Organization, or FAO, says with almost 870 million people chronically undernourished in 2010 to 2012, the number of hungry people in the world remains unacceptably high. It adds, we live in a world of plenty which has enough food to feed everyone. For us, the only acceptable number is 0. Well, let's now look at Rappler's Wrap for today, a list of the 10 most important events around the world you shouldn't miss. At number 2, Malala Yousafzai, a 14-year-old Pakistan blogger and activist who stood against the Taliban online, becomes the target of a Taliban attack Tuesday. Gunmen singled out Yousafzai, boarded her school bus, and shot her in the head and neck. 2 schoolmates were also injured during the attack. She started blogging in 2009 when Taliban forces swept through her hometown in northeastern Pakistan. She was nominated for the 2011 International Children's Peace Prize and was later awarded Pakistan's National Youth Peace Prize. At number 5, the organization behind Sesame Street asks the camp of U.S. President Barack Obama to take down its political ad that uses Big Bird to jab at Republican rival Mitt Romney. In a statement made on its blog, the Sesame Street Workshop stresses it is nonpartisan and that they do not endorse candidates nor participate in political campaigns. It also said that it has requested, quote, that both campaigns remove Sesame Street characters from their campaign materials. At number 7, the death toll from the meningitis outbreak in the United States reaches 12. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention documented more than 120 infections in 10 states. Hardest hit are Tennessee with 39 cases, Michigan with 25 cases, and Virginia with 24 cases. Meningitis inflames protective membranes covering the brain and spinal cord. And at number 8, speaking to members of the media at his first press conference since his re-election, Venezuelan President Hugo Chavez slams the United States for inciting unrest in the Middle East. Chavez spoke about the war in Syria, saying the crisis had a single cause. He says, quote, the world has entered into a new era of imperialism. It's madness. The U.S. government has been the most irresponsible. Chavez supported Syrian President Bashar al-Assad shipping oil to Syria to make up for the shortages caused by U.S.-imposed embargoes. For the full top 10, visit Rappler.com's The Wrap. Every story on Rappler has its own mood meter, which gives you 8 emotions to choose from. Click how you feel, and your vote will come to the middle of the front page to Rappler's Mood Navigator. The Mood Navigator will take the top 10 stories that have gotten the most votes on the mood meter and displays them on the front page. At the same time, it crowdsources the mood of the day. If you take a look, the Varsitarian story of the last 48 hours slams pro-RH Ateneo DLSU professors, 61% angry, 11% happy. The response, the UST disowns Varsitarian stands versus lemons and cowards, 56% annoyed, 2% happy. The story that's gotten the most number of votes, Supreme Court stops cybercrime law, issues TRO, still the top vote getter. The mood, reflecting the mood of the day, 89% happy. Today, most people are happy. Well, that's Rappler's Newscast for today, Wednesday, October 10th, 2012. Visit Rappler.com and watch our newscast Monday to Friday. Tell us how you feel on our mood meter and help us crowdsource the mood of the day. I'm Maria Ressa. As we say at Rappler, tomorrow begins today.